you ever felt like you're doing everything right, hitting your deadlines, showing up, staying in your lane, and yet something inside you keeps asking, is this really it? Not because things are falling apart, but because they're too quiet, too small for the kind of person you secretly know you could be. If that sounds like you, this story is for you. It's about what happens when you've built a life on being reliable, but start to wonder if you've also made yourself invisible. Let me tell you about Noah, a quietly capable guy who did all the right things until the day he realized playing small wasn't protecting him anymore. It was holding him back. Noah wasn't struggling, not in the way that gets attention. He had a steady job, a reliable reputation. He delivered on time, stayed late when needed, never caused waves. People saw him as solid, but not magnetic. Not someone you'd seek out in a brainstorm or ask for bold ideas. And for a long time, Noah convinced himself that was okay. Not everyone needs to be the visionary, he'd tell himself. You just do your part and that's enough. So he stayed in the lines. Over-prepared, over-corrected. Tried hard not to take up too much space. Then one day, during a team meeting, something small but sharp shifted. A younger colleague threw out an unexpected idea. It wasn't perfect, but it was alive. The room lit up. Leaders leaned in. And Noah just sat there, quiet. Because 3 weeks earlier, he'd had that same idea, but he hadn't shared it. He talked himself out of it, again. And as he listened to the applause, he didn't feel bitter. He felt grief. Grief for the version of himself that had ideas, but no voice. That night, standing in his dimly lit kitchen, he stared at his reflection in the microwave door. And for the first time in a long time, he whispered the truth. I don't think I'm using who I really am. But even as the words left his mouth, another voice pushed back. This isn't the time to start over. You should just be grateful. You have a good job. It's too late to want more. He closed his eyes, tired, torn, and reached for his notebook. It fell open to a page he hadn't looked at in months. At the top, in faded pen, you don't need to be louder, you need to be clearer. He didn't remember writing it, but something in it landed like a quiet permission. So Noah started paying attention. What drained him? What energized him? He noticed something surprising. He felt most himself when he was in one-to-one conversations, when he was connecting the dots, guiding others, not executing checklists, but shaping ideas. He realized he'd built a career on his skills, but ignored his strengths. Skills got him hired, but they didn't light him up. Strengths did. Empathy, pattern recognition, vision, the things he learned to downplay because they weren't hard skills. So he started to shift. Gently at first, he spoke up sooner. He shared his perspective even when it felt raw. He volunteered for projects that had no playbook, and slowly the room started to respond. People asked for his input, trusted his instincts, started to see him differently. Then came the moment. A senior leader pulled him aside. We're starting a new strategy initiative. You've got a way of connecting ideas. Have you ever thought about leading something like that? His first instinct? Panic. Strategy? That's for the confident ones, the polished ones, the ones who speak in perfect bullet points and never pause too long. He felt the old reflex kick in. Say no, stay safe, don't risk it. But another thought interrupted. What if this isn't too big for you? What if it's exactly what you've been preparing for, quietly all along? He said yes, before he could talk himself out of it. The months that followed weren't easy. He stumbled, doubted, nearly quit twice. But something had shifted. For the first time in years, he wasn't hiding behind competence. He was leading with clarity. He was in unfamiliar territory, but for once, it felt like his. One afternoon, a new teammate knocked on his door. Can I ask you something? They said. How did you figure out what you're actually good at? Noah paused. He remembered the version of himself who would have brushed the question off. The one who thought the only way to be valuable was to be invisible. He smiled. Honestly, I stopped trying to fix everything I thought was wrong with me and started freeing what had been right all along. These days, Noah still works just as hard, but differently. He chooses projects that stretch him. He speaks up and makes space for others to do the same. He's not trying to prove himself anymore. He's just showing up as himself. We spend so much time trying to earn our spot in the room, trying to be impressive, palatable, safe. But what if the thing people most need from you is the version you've been editing out? What if you're not too quiet, just not in the right rooms yet, not too weird, just too boxed in? Noah's story isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally letting go of the version that was never the whole story. And maybe you're feeling that too. If so, here's your invitation. Stop asking what needs to be fixed. Start asking what's ready to be freed. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep leaning into your strengths. They've been waiting for you.